Alright, we back with y'all ugly ass. But I tell you the truth, but y'all be ready to hear that bullshit, don't you? It's all good, man. The crazy thing about it is, after listening to certain people and certain things, like Charlemagne the God and, this, and that, I realized, there might be some therapy needed. I've always planned on going, never made it around to it because, we all got the same problem, the hustle and bustles and trying to make money and all that. So, right. But this is actually kind of therapeutic, man, because most of this stuff I ain't never told nobody, or if I did tell somebody, it was one or two people or something like that. But when you can express this like this in this way, because I'm talking to y'all, and really, fuck what y'all think. I ain't gotta, it's first of all, this is way past, it's way gone. It's in the and then not only that, but this stuff should really be, put out there and put to the and let some people know, therefore, if you can help one or two people, again, like I said, my son watched the channel. So if you could just help one or two people, you never know what kind of impact you might. So that's why I do this, man. It really kind of helped. You know what I mean? I appreciate the reaction. I appreciate you guys listening, right? So, man, I want to tell y'all about my partner, Lil Chris, right? And I ain't gonna say his last name because out of respect. And um, uh, first of all, rest in peace, Chris. And yeah, man. Yeah, I don't get kind of, you know what I mean? So, and the reason why I want to talk about Lil Chris is because, like I said, you go through and you see all kind of things, and if you can help somebody, from staying out of trouble, then it's worth it. I think, you know, if if I could ask Lil Chris if I could tell the story, then he probably would approve. And 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 not only that, but if I offend anybody, because I know like it's people on there like Black still my Facebook friend, so he might see it. I ain't no telling, but and Black and Chris were close. I still got partners. It still go in like that. So if I offend them, I'm sorry. You know what I mean? I don't mean to offend them. And also keep in mind when a person telling a story, you might know it or might see it from a completely different view with the way I'm seeing, because like, again, I always consider the fact that I have a young son. So sometimes the things that he say to me is like, I be like, did you get that out of that, nigga? That's how you thinking? You see what I'm saying? So I know that when I was real young, I could have been seeing things a certain kind of way, and someone with a broader spectrum could have been looking and like, boy, you just, see what I'm saying? But so I'm telling you how I see it from this young point as a young man. You see what I'm saying? Trying to anyway. So what I remember is, again, like the last one I told y'all, I got convicted, and oh my goodness, so just even before I went to court, right? The fact that I had an armed robbery charge, and that was one of the seven deadly sins in Georgia. It's like murder, armed robbery, shit, I don't know, kidnapping, carjacking. It like it's seven deadly sins that if you get caught up in, man, they gonna hide you for for a couple decades. You know what I mean? So is once you if you get hit with a seven deadly sin, 9 times out of 10 you're gonna be charged as an adult. You're gonna be bound over to superior court, and them folk gonna deal with you, right? So that's the situation that I got going on. Being that I'm bound over to superior court, they gotta send me to the county jail, which means I gotta go over there with the big boys. You know what I mean? I'm leaving juvenile at Pantherville. Gotta go to the big boys. I'm 14 years old. So when they tell me that I'm going to the county jail, all right, so just already imagine, I'm 14. You know, if there's a way to imagine that fear, okay, so here we go. Cause all I know is jail. I don't even know what jail and prison is, the difference, but I know it's jail, right? So I go to jail. When they let me in, man, they let me in and man, it's like, okay, so everything about it is depressing, from the paint on the walls to the color of the paint. I've been told that, the paint is like it's like an eggshell white, and then the top is like this dull gray color. And most institutions are like that. I think it's like an institutional paint, and it's is done for psychological reasons. They don't really want no excitement going on. They don't have no exciting colors. There ain't nothing to be excited about, right? They keep dull colors. So how the hell I get to talk about the paint on the wall? Anyway, I'm trying to describe to y'all what I see when you go in. It's just, they brought me in at nighttime, man, and it's just like it's dark, it's dreary, it's very cold. Well, I said it's dry, like damp, really cold. You see what I'm saying? And I can remember coming out on the very first breakfast. Not long after they put me in that cell, it might have been 1 o'clock in the morning. 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, they were clicking the doors, and I hadn't even fallen to sleep yet, right? So when they go to clicking the doors, everybody come out the room. I do the same thing. Everybody come out their room and kind of like stand on the side of the door. And I'm trying to remember this right. So when that happened, the officers, I do the same. The officers come in and they pass out trays. That mean they give us our food from a little cart. And this day, I didn't know that it wasn't normal, but this day, they giving us the trays and those little styrofoam plates, like the kind you might get some hot wings in, right? So I get my tray and I go sit at a table with two guys sitting there, and this Chris and Black, and like little Chris got an attitude already. He was kind of naturally mean, but I think he had already been through a lot. If I ain't mistaken, his parents had passed away, and then he was adopted by some family members. And I'm gonna keep them out of it because they famous, but he wasn't too fond of them. He loved them, but he used to tell me stories. He wasn't too fond of them. You see what I'm saying? So we eat the meal or whatever. And I remember little Chris saying, like, I can still see his face, man. We didn't even have no facial hair then, right? So, and I can still remember his face, like when he ate it so fast, and he closed the tray and put his hand over it like this. He's like, that shit was fire, shouting. And that was the very first word I heard Chris say. That shit was fire, shouting. So it's me, Chris, and Black. Chris didn't say nothing to me. He had a little attitude problem. Black was cool, but Black and Chris were close. We had some old guys in the dorm. And I also remember Big Dookie, right? I remember Big Dookie name, but I saw him on Facebook a little while ago, so I'm gonna keep his name out of it. I think he got that name because it was just a little funny little name. I think just because the way he smelled, right? And I think when they used to give us rec. When we go to rec, he'll start sweating and smell bad, right? So they call him Big Dookie, right? But he was a heavy set boy, but he could ball. I'm talking about raw on the basketball court. So I think it used to be a situation where Big Dookie be winning all the games, and them niggas get mad. They done went calling names and everything, right? But he ain't really. He was kind of easy, not soft, but just easy. He wasn't. He was a likable fella. You know what I mean? He wasn't. So it was all good with all the name calling and stuff. He never tripped, right? And from the get go, when you going in a situation like that, it's like it's like real territorial, and and you know how like hierarchy and finding your place and where everybody stand, right? Um, so had Big Duke in there, had some more guys in there, had Chuck in there. Um, so
And I think I know why. When you're white in this country, you're taught that everything belongs to you. You think you have a right to everything. You have a right to go where you, I mean, and you're conditioned this way. It's not, because your hair is a texture or your skin is light. It's the fact that the laws and the culture tell you this. You have a right to go where you want to go, do what you want to do, be however, and people just got to accommodate themselves to you. So here comes this word that, you feel like you invented. And now somebody will tell you how to use the word that you invented. Why can't I use it? Everyone else gets to use it. You know what? That's racism that I don't get to use it. That's racist against me. I have to inconvenience myself and hear this song and I can't sing along? How come I can't sing along? You know what I mean? And I think, for white people, I think the experience of being a hip-hop fan and not being able to use the word nigga is actually very, very insightful. It will give you just a little peek into the world of what it means to be black. Because because to be black is to walk through the world and watch people doing things that you cannot do, that you can't join in and do, And so I think there's actually a lot to be learned from refraining.
tap in, tap in, tap in. How y'all doing? I'm a little excited, man. Got dancing today, and actually kind of hard to hide that excitement, man. When you're striving for something, you're trying to get stuff done. Just the progressive steps, man. It just, the fact that you're moving forward and the keep moving forward. So what this is what I was telling you guys about I asked for a restoration of rights for all of my rights, including the right to bear arms, so I could protect my family. And I went through the process. I sent the parole board the entire packet of the things that they asked for, notarized letters, proof of how my life has changed since. You got to go a certain amount of time without no interaction with the law. And what they wrote me back was, I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'm going to read what matters. And it says, according to our information, you were arrested on 11/19/21 by the Georgia State Patrol and charged with theft by receiving stolen property. I'm actually going to tell y'all that story too. I've been thinking of how I'm going to put it together. And that case is still open on your criminal history. You need to prove that case has been dismissed and restricted on your criminal history in order to proceed with your case. All right, so that is this. This is one of the documents. This is the document. This is one of the documents that they're asking for. Theft by receiving charge. It was dismissed. I was let go. I didn't have to make bond or anything. That's actually on my Facebook. So I was released. That's one of the things they asked for. Then it says, if you are able to provide the above, we also need the following. Please contact the sentencing court and provide a copy of the sentencing document on the following case. Indictment number, court of conviction, DeKalb County, offense, simple battery, date of conviction, 9/12/2011. 2011, so 2021 would have been 10 years, 2023. So that means this case is about 12 years old. All right. When they got the sentencing document for that case, I pled NOLO. As you can see, it was a misdemeanor, but we haven't went into this we haven't went into this extensively, but guys, when you are a convicted felon, okay, of course you know it's gonna restrict your rights for to own and possess a firearm, and not only that, but not only a felon, but if you get convicted of any kind of domestic violence, family violence, um, even misdemeanors, okay, if it's any kind of criminal case, if it's simple battery, family violence, domestic violence, I don't want to say assaults, but basically all that tussling and fighting with your girlfriend, calling names, doing this stuff in front of kids. Unfortunately, my son was. I mean, I don't remember everything, but I was given 12 months probation. I had already served 7 days in jail, so they gave me time served. I did 12 months on probation, and it was to have no more violent contact with my son's mom. We completed that, didn't do that no more. But again, the problem is that was in 2011, right? It's 2023, and now that I've never had another case with, you know, physical with anyone before or after then, but as you can see, something that happened 12 years ago is still is affecting me today, right? My sentence was complete. Supposedly paid the debt to society, okay? But as you can see, it still matters, which is why I want to hammer home the point of, you know, you gotta your self-control. You want to keep your good name. You want to stay in self-control, and it's up to us, guys, because I know, like, my son watched this, so it's up to us to let the young guys know, man, you gotta stay in control. You gotta use your head. You gotta be thinking and get yourself out of those bad situations, because all it'll take is a phone call and a girl saying what it is. You know, if you done raise your voice, if you done hit her, she done hit you, you done took her phone, you done broke her phone. You know, it might not seem like little much, you go down a little jail and make a bond and get out or whatever, but with those guilty convictions, it'll cause you to, you know, to have to pay for that on down the line. And when I say pay for that, you know, again, it's like I got a whole house, I got a whole family, a whole situation. I'm the only male here. It wouldn't matter if there was another male here, but I guard females, right? I got 2 daughters and a wife, and it's my job to protect them. And you see, I didn't handicap myself. But anyway, I'm gonna be honest, man. Just the fact that the parole board opened my case, they opened my file, they looked through everything, and then they sent me a letter saying, "Hey, we need to look at this and that. We need to, you know, get a hold to those, and and then we'll see what's going on. The fact that I can provide them, and then try to take a step forward, whether they, you know, grant me or deny me, is worth the fight. But just knowing that somebody looked over it, man, it's a great feeling. We ain't won yet. We're gonna keep our hope. You know, if the folks give me a chance, this is what I was saying. I got arrested at 14 years old. So from 14 to now, my rights have always been restricted. I have never been legal in the sense of being able to own a firearm. 40 years, never been legal. There's always been something right over my head saying, no, you can't do that. You know, if I go into a room and people legally have their firearm on them, you know, me being knowing who I am, I'm supposed to turn around and walk out. But then to everybody else who's normal, who looks normal, who think I'm normal, they think I'm acting weird. And then why you walk out? Well, they got guns in there, and I'm a convicted felon, so I can't. I mean, it's just. So guys, you want to protect your name. You want to protect your name. Stay out of trouble. Fighting and arguing with these girls. You know, putting your hands on them. I was convicted for slapping her. I totally regret it. Like I said, I've never done it before or after that. Totally regret it. You know, Ain't nothing else I can say about that. But I'm trying to rectify, keep our fingers crossed, and I'll let y'all know how it go. Man, they give us these right back. I'm gonna take y'all with me to buy my first. I can remember, like I said, everybody was close to, they certain dorms, and they had two dorms in the county jail that were juvenile, part 200 and part 300. And that was because for a situation like mine, it was me and Teddy that had done our crime, waiting to go to court. You got an entire jail, but you can't put us anywhere. We juveniles. There are only two juveniles doing 200 and 300. So if they put me in 200 and they want to keep me separated from my co-defendant until we go to court, they put him in 300. And that was the case with most everybody in there. If you had a co-defendant, they were in the other dorm, right? So, man, we in there, and the normal thing go on, the wrestling and fighting. Like I said, I was so small. I was about the size my son is now. He's actually bigger than I was when I was his age. You know what I mean? And these guys were already kind of big. Black was big, because you got to think they were probably like 15 and 16 and already going through puberty. And I actually started puberty in there, right? Felt one of my little nipples, got a little knot in them and everything, got scared and everything. So that's how young it was. And but like Big Dookie had already had all this, right? One or two of the guys already had kids on the street. And it was weird because so when I was in Pantherville, I remember pussy ass nigga Marcus Gooden, he came in and he asked me what I had done, and I said armed robbery, and he started laughing like, I didn't really think it was funny, so I asked him what he did. He said probation violation. He was like, I'll be gone in a little bit. He like, boy, you going to Alto? And I'm like, what's Alto? He was like, don't worry about it. All right, so that was the first thing I remember hearing of Alto. All right, so now when I get in the county jail, and like I said, I'm in there with everybody who got really nothing. But anytime I tell somebody what I'm going through, like if an officer asks what I'm going through or what kind of charge I got, and I tell them armed robbery, they like, whoa, you know what I mean? They kind of already know, but your situation kind of heavy. Them folk gonna send you up through that, right? So, but when I get in the county jail, everybody has armed robbery. Like that's where you're starting at. Most of them niggas got something worse than that. Some of them got kidnapping, carjacking, house invasion. Home invasion, murder. This kind of stuff. So to have robbery or armed robbery, aggravated assault, that was actually pretty decent. You know what I mean? If you had just aggravated assault, you might be looking at 5 years, if you had a decent lawyer. So, so that in a weird kind of way, it made me feel better because now my situation not so heavy. I'm in a situation where everybody is fighting the same thing. So I'm able to gauge it a little better to see what's gonna happen to me. And again, they already talking about guys that they know and guys that they've been doing time with and then already went down to Alto, and they writing letters back saying how it's not that bad, and saying how this person doing this and this person doing that, but I don't know none of these people, so it don't weigh heavy on me. I don't really know them, right? So I remember certain things happened throughout the dorm, and we had normal fights and situations. I'm gonna tell y'all about those later. But certain things stand out for this situation, like I got a, so Sean wasn't my co-defendant. I'm gonna tell y'all how it tie in later, but we all from the same hood. Me, Sean, Teddy, and Jalen. Same guys on my case I told y'all about, right? And when they end up sending Sean to over where we are, he's my, I know him from the street, right? But now I've been with these guys going on probably a year, about 8 or 9 months. So that's longer than I knew Sean on the street, but I know Sean from the street. You see what I'm saying? So I done develop a bond with these guys. Whatever we doing, we are not really doing is playing spades all day and watching TV and a whole bunch of nothing. At one point in time, I began working out. So oh man, this, like I said, the more I talk, the more I remember. I'm trying not to keep this like crazy long, or at least split it up. So when Sean come to the dorm, we go to rec one day, and the thing that I could, the worst thing that could happen, happens. The worst thing that I could imagine happened, right? And it was weird because, okay, so and this one thing that I've been wanting to tell y'all is like, so the man that I am now, most people that know me, they know how I am, right? They don't know how I got the way that I am. And that's from, you know, man, I can see the innocence in my son now, like I said. But I know at a young age, I had to let all that go, in order to survive, right? So it's certain things that happened and went on that kind of shaped me and made me think the way that I think. And we're gonna get into that. So, like I was saying, on the basketball court, Sean and Chris always got an attitude, but you know what I mean? He was a good, and wasn't nothing wrong with him, but he got a little attitude just naturally, you know what I mean? And Sean and Chris get to going back and forth on the basketball court, and they doing their thing. And Sean the type that, and that's why I get that from. That's what I was about to say. Sean is the type, like, he came pretty much trained to go. I've never seen him back down. Just naturally bred in him, he'd rather lose than go out bad. And that says a lot. That says a lot because a lot of people don't have that. I didn't have that, but I learned to get. I went and I made myself that way. So sometimes it'd be hard to cut that shit off. You see what I'm saying? But Sean come like that just as a man. So that means whoever his father was had courage, or whoever his grandfather was, it was bred in him. Maybe from his mother's side, but it's just like that. You say the wrong thing, it's just like, bro, we got to handle this. You see what I'm saying? So Chris and Sean get to going back and forth, and man, once they get to fighting, my situation. I know him from the street. I know these guys longer. I've been jailing with them. And Chris and Sean get to fighting on the basketball court. Black big ass jump in. He jump in and go to pounding on Sean. You know what I mean? I seen when he hit him like the second or third time. Pow, pow. And me, like, my brain is telling me that I should be helping Sean because I know him from the street. But, I'm, to this day, I always said, it was because, Sean came in and I was telling them to chill and just, but Sean was kind of on some shit like, bro, you can't tell, we all gelling. These niggas ain't talking about nothing, you know what I mean? Whatever, you can't tell me, bro, I'm gonna be me, I'm gonna live me, which is really how I should have been, but I was scared. You see what I'm saying? Or that just wasn't in me yet, you know what I mean? Pretty much was a little bitch. One no, you know what I mean? I do what I have to, but it wasn't, I wasn't like warrior ready like this nigga was. So we fuck around and they jump on him, man. I don't even help Sean. And I'm telling myself that, I told Sean to just chill and, I've been here with these boys longer, but really I should have helped, bro. You see what I'm saying? So Bro, if you watch this video, I apologize for that, Sean. I never have told that nigga sorry. So, and like I said, that's the kind of thing that shaped me into who I am now. Into like, if I see a situation where it's like, if it's my partner or a situation where I should be taken aside, then it's non-negotiable. I don't think about it. We'll talk about that shit later, bro. I'm going. You know what I mean? So that's how. Anyway, um. So that's kind of how Chris is, but he was a cool dude. He had problems here and there, and then everybody knew that he was riding with Black, and then Black was a big old nigga. Polo riding with Black, so it was the hierarchy was pretty much set up. You feel what I'm saying? So man, we did our time, and over the time as you doing time, as you getting close with the brothers, and then. You get up when you get up to go to school in the morning. They give you breakfast, then they let you out by 7 o'clock. Get ready to go to school, and you be done got close to guys, and you looking around for them, whatever. Where Chuck at? Well, he went down the road. And man, when somebody say that, like when I just said that just then, it kind of just almost choked me up a little bit. And I remember the feeling in there of when it used to say that, because that mean they done went to Alto. Now I've been doing time and I know what Alto is. Man, they down there fucking niggas. You know what I mean? And just bottom line, bro. I mean, I was small. I had green eyes, bro. I was scared. There ain't no way other to cut it. You know what I mean? They not enough fucking niggas. So, every now and then that'll happen. You get up, you come out, what's such and such? He went down the road, while they made us go to the school, they call it education. They made us go to education, but certain guys going to court at this time. Certain guys so this guy might come back from court. What happened? Shit, he got 10. You know what I mean? So once you get that time, you might be there's really no telling. You know what I mean? Once you get time, once you get sentenced and you done got a sentence, there's no telling. They might come in a week, they might come in 3 months. But one thing for sure, your train is on the way, and they gonna be like, bro went down the road. And then when that happened, most times guys will write back telling how it is and this. They either say, man, this shit ain't nothing. This shit gravy, bro. All you got to do is, or we get a lot more freedom and such. And, at that time, I had been in there 8, 9 months, a year already. So when guys go to prison, they write back like, bro, we ain't on lockdown. We get to eat ice cream. We get pizza. I ain't had none of this shit. We ain't seen no outside. Even when we go to rec, it's inside, right? We don't. So you ain't seen no sunlight, you know what I mean? So these guys, they getting to go outside, they getting to play basketball, they getting to, it just feel like, it damn near feel like freedom, man. It to a point where a lot of us were ready to go. And you know what I mean? Like, man, we just gotta face what we gotta face, but we ready to get up out of here, because guys will write back and say how it was better. It was a better situation. Because the jail had a store, commissary, whatever, but then prison has a separate commissary, and it's like way better, 3 times as better. You see what I'm saying? So, man, I remember, like I said, through the whole time we were there, like Big Dookie never really had no confrontations with nobody. He was easygoing guy, never had no problems. So, he had got his time, man. He got 10. We come out one day, they say Big Dookie gone. You know what I mean? And there was again, it's always sad, but, we pretty much know which way we headed. So, and even then, like, that's why I started working out. I started doing push-ups. I was getting the chain gang body. I ain't do no legs. I was doing all upper body, right? So, because I wanted to do something to help myself, man. And I was small, and these guys already looked grown. Some of these niggas had tattoos. When I went in county jail, I ain't had not one tattoo, right? Some of these niggas coming in with tattoos looking like, man, I know they living a totally separate life than what I was living when I was on the street. So, so this going on, man. And I remember about Big Dookie. Somebody wrote back, man, and said that said Big Dookie was getting taken advantage of. You know what I mean? And it kind of it did something because first of all, you don't know if this stuff's true or not. So that ain't something you take and you spread, right? But when the guys write back to us from the county jail, it was almost kind of solid because it would be like Chris or Black writing right back. You know, if they sending it and they saying it, then it's supposed to be counted as true, right? Because like we know these guys. So somebody wrote back saying, nigga was fucking Big Dookie down there, right? So we don't know if it's true or not. You know what I mean? And time go on. I remember, man, we wake up one day, come out for breakfast. Guess who in the dorm? Big Dookie, right? And I mean, he just totally the same person. He like a little bit smaller, same person. He looked a little bit cleaner and stuff because they were able to, like I said, he could have his beard down there, and you know. But anyway, so we were kind of happy to see him, and it was good for us because it was a chance for us to get information. He had come back to go to court for some reason or another, but he had come back to go to court. And I remember, you know, it was good. He used to talk. Everybody was doing everything was good. Most time when you come back like that, you're gonna stay about a week, maybe 2 weeks at the longest, right? And then you try to get some stuff from the county jail that you can probably take back to prison. Like that was the move. If you got sent back to your hometown to like the county jail or something to go back to court, you know, your folk will bring you some nice tennis shoes or a nice chain or something that you get at court. And then the prison will automatically, when they sent you back to prison, the prison will automatically let you back in instead of having to have it sent in on a property list or something like that. So which means you can come back with some exclusive stuff, some Jordans or a big gold chain. Most times when people go back to court, that's what happened. But anyway, Big Doogie come back, man. He telling us how prison is, how good it is. Nobody ain't finna say nothing about what we done heard, right? But man, it was weird, bro. Big Doogie and Black get to arguing one day on the spade table. And that's almost every day. We gonna play spades all day, every day, and we gonna argue all day, every day, right? Man, these niggas get to arguing, bro. And like when Black stand up, like Big Dookie explode. I'm talking about he explode, bro. And it totally shocked me, surprised me. Cause how aggressive he is. The aggression is weird. Like he telling Black, like he really chopping Black off. And then he telling Black, like, Black, you never was ready, bro. You never was ready, bro. I do this and I do that. And then they got to they grabbed each other in them. And Big Dookie was handling business. Like he was like, you know, muscling Black. And then, you know, once he got rid of him and threw him off, he like, bro, you never was ready, bro. I could have easily done anything to you, bro. Any one of y'all niggas in here. So it's like, damn, automatically, like I remember thinking, this is what bruh turned to. Like I've never seen him raise his voice. They used to they called him Big Dookie, for God's sakes. You see what I'm saying? And you know, I ain't even want to call him that no more. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, I remember that experience. And then Big Dookie might have chunked one or two more people out. Once he see that, he could do that in the jail, you know what I mean? But then he had to go back to prison. I don't know how he was living, but, you know, he went on and did his time some kind of way. I don't remember seeing Big Dookie no more when I got to prison, right? Because I think by the time I had got down there, he was shipped off to another prison. So, eventually, man, little Chris time come, right? You know, sometimes we be up at night because it's like 2 or 3 in the morning. The officer go click in your door, clack, 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 clack. And this loud, hollow dorm room. So when they do that, most time people wake up. They wake up and run to the door because nigga finna leave. So really, he gonna give away all the stuff that he know that he can't take. But you watching him leave, almost like it's almost so it's bittersweet. You know, I hate to say it, but the whole time I was in there, from everybody coming and going, I think one person went home. I still remember his name, man. Boy named Morrison Golden. We called him Billy, right? Cause he was so country and he was just so nice. And somebody had accused him of something that he had absolutely not did, and he knew he didn't know he was going home. He was kind of scared, but he ain't belong in there. But he wasn't no criminal at all. But he went home. He was proved he went home, right? Everybody else went down the road, right? I don't give a damn what happened, right? Them folk sending your ass down the road. Man, like I said, once they get to clicking in your dope, people be looking, and the person who leaving to go to prison, he running back and forth to different rooms because he done promised, like if you done got your time already, then you got new dudes come in, you done got cool with them, so you promising them like, bro, when I go, I leave you this bowl, or I leave you, whatever, you can have this, whatever was sentimental to us while we were in there, which was little or nothing. And so that's going on, and the person who running around giving the stuff out is looking like he happy that he actually getting to leave the dorm. But, you really be looking at him and wondering, damn, is that nigga scared? And 9 times out of 10, I think most niggas be scared. I mean, you gotta have some kind of form of fear, right? I was terrified. But at the same time, I had watched so many people do the same thing and go down there and I had imagined it for so long because I went to court. They gave me 10 years, and they kept me in juvenile for a whole nother year. Just waiting on me to come of age. I went to prison. I spent diagnostic on my 17th birthday. I went to prison on my 17th birthday. Spent it in diagnostic. Excuse me. So. You be watching these guys, man, they be going in and out and they be looking like they not scared, but I know they be terrified. I was terrified, right? Because this is the real deal now. When we've been hearing rumors and stuff, and it was a situation where before I even got to Alto, the juveniles were like mixed in with population, and I think 1 or 2 of them had got hurt or raped, and that's when they started separating them, right? And man, so one day they called Chris, of course. Chris gone, he going down the road. Everybody went down the road. Black went down the road. Chris went down the road. Chuck went down the road. Man, everybody went down. If you ain't go home, you went down the road, right? I remember at one point I was the last man in there from everybody that I knew that was in there when I came in. I spent 17 months in DeKalb County Jail on Memorial Drive. So finally my day come. They get to clicking on my door. The heart get to jumping. Go up, go to the window. What's up? Pack it up. All right. I still remember, man, it's like, I was happy because it's like, once again, you don't see nobody go home from here. And I'm ready to get out of here. I'm ready to go to whatever's next. But, I done prepared myself, and it just is what it is. You know what I mean? So I done got a little size on me and everything. Man. You know what? I'm saying this happened so long ago that I got it confused because I mean it's the same thing though, but I actually went from the county jail. They sent me back to juvenile, which was RYDC for, I have no idea why they done that. And then I got happy thinking that maybe I could go home from there. But from RYDC on my 17th birthday, I went to prison. And man, so I remember, you know, I'm already like I'm going with the attitude that I ain't taking no shit. Bottom line, you know, I'm in my mind, I'm already, I done trained myself to go. I know it's gonna be what it's gonna be. You know, I get down here, it's all my people making all the noise. I get in dorm 16, you know, my crew, the 17-year-olds, they raising hell, but it's fun. You know what I mean? So, I remember, man, we come out, it was either my first, if I'm not mistaken, it was my first day in dorm 16 with the rest of the 17-year-olds, right? And we coming out going to lunch. Now, there's a boy named Aaron, rest in peace, and I heard the police killed him. That he was from Athens. But he was light skinned and he had green eyes too, but he looked mixed. Like he looked like his mom could be white. I think he was mixed, you know. But his name was Aaron. And I remember we were walking we were coming out of our dorm and going to chow. I'm basically doing what everybody else doing. And you know, everybody talking, you know, we'll be walking in groups, and it was free. I was kind of happy to be there, man. When you come out the dorm, you get to hit the sidewalk and be in some grass and things of this nature, right? So as we walk into the chow hall, to my very first incident, my first day in dorm 16. Somebody from the window say Red. And I don't know what it was, man. You know, everybody got their thing. Couldn't call me Red, because I always associated Red with a woman, you know, if you're going to say it like that. But I got a homeboy named Red. I used to anyway. So, that was just my thing. I don't, you know. My name was White Boy, so don't call me Red. You know what I mean? He said, say Red. So when he said, I look this way, I'm looking that way, nobody respond. But the window that he's calling from, it has mesh on it, mesh so that, like a metal mesh so that people can't climb out of it. So I can't see his face, I can see the silhouette, right? He said again, say Red. Nobody say nothing. So I think he talking to me. So I said, man, who the fuck you talking to? I see his silhouette. I see his head turn from where he was looking to me. He said, who the fuck you talking to? I said, nigga, I'm talking to you. Who the fuck you talking to? Ah, man. So he was like, oh, man, okay, hold on. I'm on my way out there. So now, you know, I went down there, you know, my best friend, he down there. He was pretty much one of the leaders in the dorm, right? One of the guys running the thing. Now, they done stopped talking. He look at me like, bro, what happened? And I'm like, man, I don't know, bro. Calling me Red. I'm like, that ain't my fucking name. And he like, he was talking to you? I'm like, shit, I thought it was. So now, we going, the way that we have to go to the chow hall, we have to pass his dorm. I'm waiting on him to come out, but he never do, right? So we go in and we looking. When we get ready to pass his dorm, he's standing right there at the front of the dorm. And it's like an open dorm and the gate is meshed also. So you can talk and pass stuff through and all that, right? He's standing at the gate, you know, got his hands on the gate, looking at us. He like, damn, bro, we got a problem, what going on? I'm like, man, it is whatever you talking about, I'm with, right? I know absolutely nothing about the guy that I'm talking to. It just, I know what I done told myself. That's what I'm gonna stand on, right? So he like, all right, bet. We can handle that. We'll get up. Like, we'll see about that tomorrow. Because all the juveniles are required to go to education And, I ain't know it then, but he was assigned to education, meaning, he knew he went to school with the juveniles, right? And I'm like, shit, whenever. Shit, we can do it now if you want to. He like, all right, you tough. We'll see. Boom, we gone in the chow hall. Man, I'm so scared. Cause again, I don't know. First of all, I ain't even the best fighter. Truth be told, I don't even know how to fight yet, right? That's first of all. Second of all, I know absolutely nothing about who this is. And I think once the guys who I was with saw who it was and they said something, they were like, somebody asked like, damn, who, it was DJ down there, Lil B, bruh. Man, I can start naming us, right? But somebody said, what happened? And then I think bro looked and was like, boy, he done got into it with Mills. So Mills is DJ homeboy, right? So he like, damn, what is it about? So bruh explained what happened, whatever. But I'm still nervous because my adrenaline rushing. I'm on go. I'm going no matter what. I'm going, right? But I just don't know what I'm up against. So while we sitting there at the dinner table talking, I'm gonna be honest, man. I can't even say. I think it was bruh, but I can't honestly say who told me this. But they was like, Mills the nigga who raped Chris. Now Chris had already came across the yard and went to the juvenile dorm, and then again he went across the yard to the big folks, right? So I'm like, rape Chris. They like, yeah, man. They like, he raped the shit out of Chris. They made him his boy. I'm like, what's a boy? And they was like, a fuck boy, right? That's a faggot. That's a nigga you fucking on. You fucking, you know what I mean? So that's a fuck boy. Shout out to Jay Williams, man, because I always hear him talking about stuff like this, and he talk about the boys, and he always, he just refer to them as boys, and it just always urge in me to be like, man, when you say boy, that's short for fuck boy. That's why I don't nobody, if a nigga call you a fuck boy, he just like calling you a bitch or a pussy ass nigga. Now let me tell you something about prison. And, I didn't run into a couple problems out here about this shit. But anything like that, right? That's number one rule. Anything sexual, anything out of the way is automatic war, is off limits. You cannot do that. You can't call a man, you can't call him a bitch. You can't call him a woman. You can't say, bro, you acting like a female. You acting like a hoe. You can't say, like, all of this will get you fucked up or murdered, right? I'm telling you, if you want to fight somebody, that's all you got to do. You call nigga, boy, you a bitch, then it's clear. It's either one or two things are going to happen. Y'all going to fight, or we know where we stand. You can't fuck with me. You a bitch. And then everybody else going to know it too, right? So you can't call a nigga fuck ass nigga, fuck boy, bitch ass nigga, puss ass nigga. This it's automatic. It's hard to explain, because if you do that, you don't have to worry about if, something's going to happen. If somebody can't get to you then it's only a matter of time. When they can get to you, you better be aware. It can be a year from now, but you called me a bitch, and you going to have to show me. Now you literally going to have to show me that I'm a bitch, right? That's the mentality, and it's strictly enforced, right? So shout out to Jay Williams again. So as we sitting at the table, man, I'm so nervous I can't eat. This is my first meal in prison. I can't eat, right? And bruh telling me about a situation that happened with the juveniles, because the juveniles were going to war with, the regular population. Bro was telling me about, a lot of this stuff was before my time. Bro telling me about situation going down, and this person, that person, and this, and that, and that. And he said at one point in time they were in the chow hall, like, cause sometimes 15 and 16, those dorms would eat together, and 16 was extended juveniles, and 15 were regular gen pop. So bro was telling me that, some had jumped off, and before they had done split us up, and the second time they were getting ready to go at it, they said they were, everybody was in the chow hall, plotting, doing their thing, getting ready to ride. Bruh told me Chris went to tying his shoes, like getting ready to ride with us, and ride with them rather, and he was talking hard, like, yeah, bro, whatever you want to do, we could do. And they said Mills was like a table over and heard him talking like that, like, bro, it's whatever, we can jump it off now. Bruh say Mills jumped up and goddamn checked Chris right at the table and was like, man, shut the fuck up, bitch. You know you a bitch. I fucked you and you sucked my dick. And they said when Mills did that, said Chris just put his head down like this. End of story. Said Mills went back and told him, I better not hear you talking like that no more, right? And again, by the time I came, Chris had already left extended juvenile and went across the yard. So, and I remember every time I would see him after that, he didn't look like the same Chris, bro. He, when we were in the county jail, he had this spunk about him, this, the same, just like a regular kid, right? So off the rip, when bro told me that, like, I hate this nigga, but also now I'm like, this the nigga I just goddamn barked at? You know what I mean? The nigga that's raping niggas and shit. So now I'm scared and I'm mad, but I'm more scared than mad because he raped my partner. And, Chris was mean as hell in the county jail, so it was, I'm like, fuck, I'm also determined though to not be a victim. We won't keep that in mind, man. I'm determined to do whatever I gotta do to not be a victim, right? So, um, I'll tell y'all about, the end of that story a little bit later on. It wasn't no end. They done something behind the scenes because, like I said, DJ and Mills were homeboys, and my brother, he really my best friend, but he went in, talked, and they did some thing, handled some thing behind my back to where, they squashed it out for me, they flattened it out for me, and I'm gonna lie, I was truly grateful because even though I was down to handle this situation, I ain't want to if I ain't have to, right? And but also, man, it made me feel a certain kind of way for Chris, man. And like I felt so bad for him because, that was a way, again, like the way Mill had done Chris down there in front of the table, in front of all of us, his friends and people that know him and stuff like that. That's I was about to say that's hard to recover from, but I don't even know if it's possible. You know what I mean? Because other stuff might can go on that you can push to the past or do this or do that, but just as a man, certain things, man, that it don't matter what corners of the earth you run to, or it don't matter what you're trying to hide behind. Inside yourself, the truth, and you got to live with that. There's nowhere you can run from that. You know what I mean? Then if you got, it's just no telling. So I remember always feeling bad for Chris, man. And there was the word around the compound was he was a boy. You know what I mean? He was a boy. He was somebody boy, and Mills was the first one to turn him out. And because like if I'm not mistaken, they started treating him like a boy. And what I mean by that is, so rules in prison, like I said, are strictly enforced. If you're a boy or if you're a bitch, you know what I mean. If you are a female, females don't smoke with everybody else. You know what I mean. The boys and bitches, they don't smoke. They smoke amongst each other, right? So if folk down there smoking trees or Crib Brown, and I'm gonna be honest, like I've heard of those terms, but we didn't call them that. Those terms were way before my time, right? I mean, I was doing time way before those terms came out. But cause like what I'm saying, I remember my homeboy Peanut got into a fight with Nose because Nose was a boy, which means he been sucking dick up the hill, and then they were down there smoking, and Peanut asked Nose for the cigarette, and Nose gave it to him, and then I think because that was a thing, that was a thing about these cigarettes and who you smoking behind, but somebody asked, maybe even Lil B asked Peanut for the cigarette, and he was like, "Who you get it from?" He said, "No." And it's like, "No, I don't want that." And so Peanut like, "Damn, what's wrong with the?" He like, "Man, bro, boy." No, he ain't. Yeah, he is. Peanut went right up there and told him, "I want one." One is a round. One is mean. When you say I want one, I mean I want one round, right? I want one. He went one and told, "I want one." And Peanut knocked Nose ass out just for giving him a cigarette, knowing he should have been like, "Bro, goddamn, goddamn, man, goddamn." And I think Nose probably did tell him some shit like, "Man, yeah, goddamn." And Peanut, but he didn't make it clear. You see what I'm saying? That's a complete disrespect. You can't do that. Ain't nobody smoking behind no motherfuckers sucking no dick. You know what I mean? So it would be a situation like that, because I think for a second they sent Chris back down to where we were once they made extended juvenile, and people weren't fucking with him like that. If he had a cigarette or something, he couldn't just pass that bitch off to somebody who cool with, because in your mind you trying to hope don't nobody know, ain't nobody heard the rumors and stuff like that, but you don't really know. Then you try to pass me a cigarette, and I'm looking at you like, but I ain't smoked cigarettes down there. Then I hate them now. You know what I mean? But like somebody else, if that was to happen, they looking at you like now you got a whole nother situation. You see what I'm saying? So, think bro went through that, man. I pretty much think his time went hard the whole trip, right? And he did his 10, got out, and man, I saw that. I looked up and saw that. I looked him up one day, just randomly on the internet, and it said he had passed away. It said he had passed away, and I didn't even know that, man. I think it said he had passed away in like 2010, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, and it's crazy, man, because I think Chris had a pretty hard life, and I talked to Teddy, man. I talked to Teddy, and I asked him, I was like, did you know that Chris had passed away? And Teddy was like, yeah. He told me, he was like, bruh set himself on fire. Teddy told me he actually set himself on fire. Now, I don't know how true that is, but Teddy, he is a close friend. I believe it. And I know Shawty had some demons, you know what I mean? So, I just, R.I.P. Chris. And I wanted to share that with y'all, man, because, if it's like I said, if I can paint the picture of what it was really like to go through at such a young age, maybe we can stop somebody from being hard-headed or, making them same wrong decisions. Sadly, I don't get to talk to my son and tell him some of these things the way that I want to. That ain't nobody's fault but mine. But again, I know he watched this. Maybe somebody else will watch this. I mean, y'all got to stay out of trouble, man. I ain't never been so terrified. If I could have made the decision over again to not put myself through that, then I'd have definitely done that. Right. I appreciate y'all, man. We're gonna keep it coming. I'll see y'all next time.
I had some niggas I look up to try to put their feet on my neck, man, you know what I'm saying? And we supposed to been working together.
Go crazy, AG.
You know what I'm saying? How you hate on my come up? You know what I'm saying? Box me out. Can't box a real now, nigga. This shit gon' still happen. I always been a underdog. My pockets on mainstream. I never made one call. I bless you for trying me. Mine really fucked up. Time made me paranoid. Walking out the hospital, eyes full of tears of joy. Ruby tatted on my arm. Really wanna hear your voice. They say my uncle doing good. Finally got up off that boy. I be trapping, selling weight. Ain't no stress on my face. Yeah.